I think Prime Minister Netanyahu finally apologized because a number of reasons. One is the situation in Syria. Both Prime Minister Erdogan and Prime Minister Netanyahu feel that it is necessary at this point to achieve this kind of rapprochement because the situation in Syria can and will be, in fact, deteriorated so much so their cooperation is absolutely necessary. From the Turkish perspective, there was a great deal of cooperation between Turkey and Israel in terms of exchange of technology, specifically intelligence, and Turkey needs that especially now because of what's happening in Syria. From the Israeli perspective, resumption of negotiation of diplomatic relations with Ankara is very important, specifically in the face of the fact that Israel being increasingly isolated, and it would want to resume relationship, especially with a predominantly Muslim state like Turkey, with whom it has a great deal and very good relationship in the past. Well, actually, it was receiving mixed feelings. On the one hand, many Israelis felt, because of the reasons I mentioned, it was necessary for Israel to move on and establish full diplomatic relations with Turkey, specifically because throughout this period, trade between the two countries was has increased dramatically, and it's been the highest in the last 12 months. So many Israelis felt this is a good move to take at this time. Others feel that the Prime Minister should not have apologized without actually making sure what Israel will be getting in return. And so they are disappointed that Prime Minister Erdogan continued to make public demands after the apology. And in so doing, they felt, well, Israel had been taken, so to speak. It should not have apologized before making certain that the apology will almost immediately resume the diplomatic relationship as has been promised in the past. I think it's very important that the two countries, in my view, that will be affected probably the most is Syria and Turkey. Collaboration and cooperation between the two countries at this juncture, and certainly after the demise of President Bashar al-Assad of Syria, will be extremely important. We feel almost certain that Syria will be on the verge of disintegration. We do not know which faction, be that the Islamists, the Kurds, the Christians, the Alawite, is going to be intensified, probably a civil war in Syria. So to the extent that two countries can collaborate, they can manage at least to ensure that the borders are not going to be violated, either Turkish border with Syria as well as the Israeli borders. There's a question of the Kurds. Cooperation between Israel and Turkey in that regard is very important. Remember, in the past, Israel provided Turkey a great deal of intelligence in connection with the PKK about. And so Turkey is very sensitive about the Kurdish community in Syria. They would like to continue to receive from Israel intelligence in that regard. So the collaboration between the two countries is extremely important.